supply. We're going to define quantity supplied. Quantity supplied is the amount that sellers are willing and able to sell. Again, they have to be willing to sell it. They may have it to sell, but it's not part of supply unless they're willing to sell it. All right, so they're willing and able to sell. Price is the biggest determinant of quantity supplied. For all purposes, it's the only determinant of quantity supplied. Law of supply. The law of supply, what do you think the law of supply is? As price goes up, what happens? Say again? Not supply. So I think somebody said it. Quantity supplied increases. Not supply, it's quantity supplied. There's a positive or direct relationship between price and quantity supply. As one goes up, the other goes up. Again, I wrote out the word decreases and in this, but an economist would say as P arrow up, Q arrow up. Okay, that's how you can write your answer to a question like that. That's acceptable. That's the convention in economics. The economists like to use shorthand. Okay, so the supply schedule and graph of the supply curve. Put that up. All right, so here's our supply schedule. Price of $1, $2, and $3. The quantity supplied goes from 1, 7 to 13. So you could see you would have an upward slope. If I graph that relationship, quantity on that horizontal axis, price on the vertical axis, you would have an upward sloping line because of it's a positive slope because of the positive relationship between the two. So demand curve was always going to slope downward because the law of demand. Supply curve was always going to slope upward because the law of supply. Not always, but in most cases. Sometimes in special situations it can be straight across. You call that perfectly elastic. But in most cases it's upward and downward. If I have that, anybody need more time to write the graph down? Okay, so distinguish quantity supply changes when price changes. That's movement along the supply curve. A change in supply is a shift of the supply curve. Okay, do I have it? No, it looks like some people are still writing. I'll wait. Raise your hand if you need more time. Got it? All right. Variables that shift the supply curve. We'll use the acronym EAT. All right, we're going to use the acronym EAT. And E is cubed because there's 3 things that can go with E. So demand is tires, supply is EAT. Here's what the variables stand for. The E stands for expectations, just like when we have expectations in the demand market, right? Expectations can affect supply, right? The a company right now could, they're expecting gas prices to go down. So Exxon may decide, hey, let's don't sell, let's keep some of our gas supply in reserve, hold it back, and don't sell it till the price goes back up, so we can make more off of it. So they may hold back in their supply of gasoline. If you are expecting, if the price is, that a certain item in a certain time of year is in shortage, and the price is going to go up in the future, right? You may, I just use that example. Let's use the price that is going to go down. So let's say that a competitor is mining diamonds, and they're expecting to find a whole bunch of diamonds, and you have the only supply of diamonds right now. You would sell a lot now before they enter the market and lower the price. Something like that. Okay, so expectations, just think about the situation. It'll make sense. Entry. New companies enter the market. New sellers enter the market. That's going to increase supply. Exit. Likewise, some of the sellers exit the market. That's going to affect supply. Entry or exit. If they enter, supply goes up. If they exit, supply goes down. An example. Here's an example. Okay. Expect the price of ice cream to rise in the summer, so you would put more in storage now and supply less at the present time. Does anybody work for Ritter's or Dairy Queen or anything like that? Any place, ice cream shops? Do they do that?
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, good. Which one do you work for?
I work for Ellis.
Ellis? Yeah. All right. Okay, and then I talked about entry and exit, decreasing or increasing supply. The A stands for alternate product of the same supplier has a price change. Okay, an alternate product of the same supplier. There's an inverse relationship. If the price of something else that I produce goes up, I'm going to sell less of the other thing now and put more resources towards the thing that has a higher price. Here's the example. A seller supplies arcade games and video games. Right? The price of arcade games goes up. They are coming back. I just read an article about that. Okay? People are going back to the old, arcade games you see where you're actually playing on a machine. So if the price of those goes up, the supplier would put more resources towards the production of arcade games and supply less video games. So the price of As the price of arcade game goes up, supply of video games decreases. Alternate products. Kind of like with vinyl records. Vinyl records are coming back. Have any of you guys ever seen a vinyl record? Do your parents play vinyl records? Okay, yeah. Well, anyways, the vinyl records are coming back. My mom got rid of all of hers. I don't know why, but you know, she wishes she still had that Barry Manilow album or something like that, but she doesn't have it anymore. She can't use the vinyl record. All right, everybody have this? Raise your hand if you need more time. Okay. 3, technology. How is an improvement in technology going to affect supply? Yeah.
Make something faster or cheaper.
Yeah, you can supply more. Technological improvements, just like there's a positive relationship between improvements in technology and the supply of a product. We can, you just take the assembly line for example, right? You look back at how they used to produce cars. They used to produce them one at a time, right? They'd make one car, and all the people would be working on one car and making all the parts and pieces of the car and putting it together. Then Henry Ford invented the assembly line, right? And then they started to specialize it and enabled people to specialize. One person on the line would put the bumper on, one person would put the tires on, etc. Right? Each person has a specific job, and it went faster. Now, the assembly line is becoming robotic. They don't need people, right? They just have the robots do all the work. All the welding and screwing and everything else is done by robots. That's cheaper than paying somebody, laborers, to work on the assembly line. So, as in technology improves, they can supply more cars because they're less expensive to make. Technology. Input prices. Okay? Common thing that affects supply. Okay? Input prices. If the ingredients to pizza goes up, you'll have to supply less. Negative relationship between input prices and the supply of goods. If the price of rubber goes up, you have to supply less tires. If the supply of wood goes up, you'll have to make less houses if you're a builder, and so on. Any questions on that one? The 5th variable is taxes, tariffs, and subsidies. Everybody knows what a tax is. It's a fee by the government for selling a good, or sometimes it's for consuming the good, a sales tax. The consumer, when they purchase something, they have to pay a sales tax. Okay? Producers pay payroll tax. The more laborers they hire, they have to pay more taxes. That's kind of a cost on production, that type of thing. So we've got taxes. They're negatively related to supply. The higher the taxes are, the less you can supply of whatever you're making. Tariffs. Okay, then we go to subsidies. Everybody know what a subsidy is? Okay, a subsidy is the government wants to promote the production or sell the supply of something. So they subsidize it. Like a common thing, a lot of times farmers are subsidized. Like the government wants more ethanol production in gasoline. So they actually pay corn farmers in Iowa to produce corn. Okay, they'll actually give them a subsidy. They'll give them money for producing that because it's promoting the production of ethanol. What was the other example I was thinking about? Education, right? State colleges. That is a subsidy by the state. The state wants educated people, right? They want college graduates. So the state, that's why your state tuition, your tuition to a school like Indiana or Purdue is less than the tuition to a private college like Notre Dame, because the state wants to encourage people to get a degree, so they subsidize their education at state colleges. They pay part of the cost so that the tuition is not as much. So subsidies are positively related to supply, and tariffs. Tariffs are a tax on imported goods, right? So if China doesn't want to have as much competition from American-made cars, then they'll put a tariff on American-made cars. So when we export it to China, we have to the suppliers have to pay some kind of tariff for their good to be sold in the Chinese market, some kind of tax. Okay, those are tariffs. Any questions? Okay. All right, so that's the notes on supply.